Hey, everybody. Welcome back to the Outcomes Rocket. Today, I have a guest that you guys have met before. Man, it's been years, actually. So it's great to have Dr. Jonathan Kaplan back. He's a board-certified plastic surgeon based in San Francisco, California. Also the founder and CEO of BuildMyHealth, a price transparency-led generation platform that focuses on subscriptions and weight management programs. He's also a contributor to multiple publications, including Newsweek, Modern Aesthetics, MedCity News, and many more. Certainly somebody you could follow on social, Instagram, Snapchat, TikTok. He's all over the place. So glad to have you back on the podcast, Jonathan. Thanks for joining us.
No, thanks for having me back. Great to see you.
Likewise. So you've been focused, since our last podcast on transparency, and that's been huge. Tell us kind of how that's been going, and then help us understand your newest add-on to the platform.
Yeah, absolutely. The price transparency, when we last talked about it a few years ago, wasn't really a big deal yet, but now the federal government's gotten involved with the No Surprises Act. So price transparency is coming to a location near you for everybody in healthcare, between hospitals and providers. And so what our platform did is we would insert a price estimator into a doctor's website where the consumer could come to the price estimator and check pricing on whatever services that doctor provided, whether it was insurance-based or aesthetic cash-based services. But before the consumer could see the pricing, they had to put in their contact information. So they would get an instant gratification. They'd see a breakdown of the pricing, but the provider's office would also get a copy of that same email with the patient's contact information, a lead for follow-up. So if somebody can check pricing, then it's reasonable that they would be able to purchase something. So we made that possible through the price estimator, that they could actually run the merchant services through the price estimator. And then with some of our aesthetic providers, they wanted to start offering subscriptions or memberships for things like Botox, where you pay a little bit each month. And then when you come in every third month for your Botox, you wouldn't owe anything additional out of pocket because you've been paying for it as part of the subscription. So if we're already doing subscriptions, then it made sense when our doctors, our providers were asking for the ability to offer weight loss medications on a subscription to their patients, to where the patients would sign up through our platform. It would look like they were within the doctor's website, though. They'd sign up for the weight loss medications and they get charged a certain amount each month. And then the doctor sends out those medications. So rather than being a direct consumer market where we kind of hold everything in place, we're more of a provider to consumer marketplace where we're helping the providers arrange use our automated technology to do the automated billing each month, the automated charges, or even the automated dunning each month, to where they're automatically getting that revenue. We're sending them that revenue that we're processing. They're capturing more revenue from their patients. We're connecting them to the compounding pharmacies, which is pretty tough in a lot of states. They can't find a pharmacy that has a license in that state. So now we're basically becoming a consulting service for setting up your own turnkey weight management program. And then we help the doctor automate those subscriptions, as I mentioned, connect them to the compounding pharmacy so they can send them to the patient. And it's working really well. We've really blown up, of course, with all the GLP-1 receptor agonists, the Ozempics and the Wegovys. We're not providing those name brand drugs because those are too expensive and on back order and hard to get. And because they're on,
I was going to ask you about that, the supply. I was going to ask you about the supply. Yeah.
And that really dovetails into what we're able to provide to our providers, is that because all these medications are on an FDA shortage list, then compounding pharmacies are legally allowed to make a duplicate. And by law, it's got to be a duplicate. It can't be some quasi knockoff. The compounding pharmacies are legally allowed to produce duplicates of the name brand drugs that are commercially available without having to worry about a patent infringement.
That's beautiful.
Yeah.
That's a nice loophole.
Yeah, exactly. And I mean, it makes sense from the FDA's perspective, because they're saying, well, if Americans can't get these name brand drugs, we want to provide a way for them to get them. And compounding pharmacies were the original pharmacists, and they've been around for forever. I know a lot of people don't know what a compounding pharmacist is, but they are very much part of the pharmaceutical landscape in America. They are under a lot of state board of pharmacy regulatory oversight, FDA oversight. They get their medications from an FDA approved manufacturer. So they're not in somebody's backyard like a still or something like that.
Totally.
They're producing legitimate medications. And so that's, we're helping providers get access to those medications and provide them to their patients.
And people need them. And in this environment, we definitely are in a need for, the providers, for everybody listening on the provider side, like you guys need recurrent revenue, right? And predictability.
Right.
And by the way, so Dr. Kaplan, quick question. A lot of what you've been focused on is cash, right? Like you're doing cash transactions. You're not having to wait for insurance.
Right. And I think a lot of providers don't understand. So first off, this is not just for aesthetic providers. I know I'm a plastic surgeon, but what I'm talking about is definitely not just for aesthetic providers. I think a lot of providers out there that take insurance forget that they can accept cash. Like, yes, I know you get maybe most of your revenue through insurance, but people can come and pay you cash. And that's what we're doing is we're processing these cash payments. This is all cash pay out of pocket. And the thing is, it's significantly less expensive than the name brand drug, which is why patients are able to pay for these, because they might get a prescription for the medication, the name brand drug, and they might even get insurance to cover it, which is statistically unlikely. Just if you look at the numbers, insurance doesn't want to cover this. But let's say they were able to get insurance to cover it. They can't get the medication because, as you mentioned, it's on back order. The pharmacies don't have it. So when so a lot of these people have already tried that route. They know they can't get it. So they're going with this compounded route. They are coming into it knowing they're going to pay cash or with a credit card, or even if they have a credit card connected to their HSA or FSA, they can use the credit card with the platform. And so this is really going to be a huge thing for all providers, even outside of aesthetics. I think it's going to be an opportunity for doctors to realize that they don't have to rely on entirely insurance-based payments, that there is an opportunity for them to go into the cash pay segment. Because, for example, as a plastic surgeon, you do a lot of reconstructive surgery, then that's insurance-based. But then you have the opportunity to also do cosmetic surgery, cash pay. Well, a lot of other providers really don't have that opportunity until now. They've always been all insurance-based. That's where all their referrals came from. Now, if they have a website, patients can find them for their weight management opportunities, and the patients will be willing to pay cash. And so now it'll be this opportunity, as you mentioned, for doctors to start getting this monthly recurring revenue. They're generating revenue from these daily subscriptions from patients, even when they're out of the office. The doctor is still generating revenue, nurse practitioner, or whoever the provider is in the practice.
Which is great. You know, you could get into a situation where you're taking care of your patients, they're getting what they need, and at the same time, you're not having to log hours to make money.
Right.
Like,
and that's the
ideal.
That's an interesting thing you bring up, is that one of the things I like about being a surgeon is the instant gratification. You operate on somebody, they wake up and they have perkier breast, a flatter tummy, they're happy. But there's only so many operations you can do. That's what's so great about weight management, is that you're treating a lot of patients at scale. That's one of the things we do with our provider to consumer model, is that we're helping these doctors build their weight management programs at scale. And so now you'll have hundreds of patients that are losing weight and are happy. And that's a lot of instant gratification. So it's very satisfying from the patient and the provider perspective that you're really helping these patients out. And then, you know, if it's a surgical patient or a surgical candidate, they need to lose weight first, then you help them lose weight, and then you can eventually do the body contouring or the bariatric procedure on them. And but yeah, it's been a lot of fun because the patients are very appreciative, and even maybe more appreciative than some of the cosmetic patients. Because a cosmetic patient who wants to come in and get a mommy makeover, they want to get back to their pre-pregnancy body after having kids. They've been unhappy with their body or their droopy breasts or excess skin to their abdomen for several years. Patients that are overweight have been possibly overweight their whole life. So when you are able to provide them with medication that's safe, that's effective, has minimal side effects and even less serious side effects, they're extraordinarily appreciative because it's something they've been struggling with their whole life. So it's been a lot of fun. And from the provider perspective, as far as generating revenue, and one of the things that makes this provider to consumer model so different than the direct to consumer model is that the direct to consumer model, the big company, the centralized company, they're hiring the doctors as independent contractors. So the doctor's making, some peanuts here and there, whereas the DTC company is keeping most of the revenue. Whereas with the provider to consumer model, like what we have, the doctors can make upwards of $275,000 per month in monthly recurring revenue, over $275,000. That's insane per month. And the provider is keeping most of that money, not the centralized company. We're just basically making that possible for them to do that.
Totally. And so help me back into the number, like, so people understand, right? The 275, is that based off of a volume that somebody could expect to have based off where they live, or share more there?
I think that if you are making it very easy for the customer to find you, if they're making it very easy for the patient to come to your website, and you have a very obvious landing page that says you offer weight management program, and that you have links on that page to make it easy for them to sign up and pay for a consult online. These are all things our platform can help you with. That if you make it easy, they will pay. That's my mantra. If you make it easy for them to sign up and pay for a consultation online, they'll do that. And then if you make it easy for them to sign up for the medication and then you ship the medication to them, you're making it easy for them. They're not having to come into the office every week for their shot, because that's what these medications require. You're not making them to come in every month to pick up their medication. You're shipping them a month's supply every month with the next higher dose, just according to the name brand regimen. If you're making it easy for them to sign up, get the medications, then you can expect a lot of patients to sign up. I'm not going to promise everybody can make $275,000 a month, but it is possible. It's absolutely possible. And the way you get to those numbers is if you're having, in our case, we have over 400 patients in our weight management program currently, and patients are paying $500 per month for semaglutide, which is the active ingredient in Ozempic and Wegovy that we get from a compounding pharmacy, or they're paying $600 a month for tirzepatide, the active ingredient found in Mounjaro and Zepbound that we're getting from a compounding pharmacy. So every 28 days, the patients are charged either $500 or $600. And then once they get to their goal weight, whatever that is, that the patients can just stop. They're not going to go on withdrawals or anything. But if they stop, they have to know that statistically speaking, they're going to regain the weight. So what we have a lot of patients doing is we switch them to a maintenance subscription, where instead of them taking a shot every week, they may find that one shot suppresses their appetite for 10 days or for 14 days. So instead of needing 4 shots a month, maybe they only need 3 shots a month or 2 shots a month. And basically, based on my crowdsourcing of comments from TikTok, a lot of people are doing this now. And so we can switch them to a maintenance subscription where they're still paying for it, but it's less expensive because they're getting less medication. They're staying on the program longer. They're maintaining their weight. And eventually they may find they can go to 1 shot a month. That's fine. But a lot of these patients are going to stay on these medications forever. And there's benefits other than just weight loss. I mean, they've already shown that there was a 20% reduction in major cardiac events between stroke, fatal and non-fatal MIs. They're thinking that these medications can actually help with other addictive behaviors, reducing people's craving for alcohol, for smoking, vaping, nail biting, online shopping. I mean, really are amazing medications that go beyond weight loss, and patients are going to be looking for them. And because they can't get it at the pharmacy or they can't get insurance to cover it, they're going to need a provider out there that's going to make it possible and easy for them to get access to these medications. And that's what we're helping providers do.
That's cool. Yeah. And look, I mean, I did an interview the other day, a month ago. And the lady we had on the podcast has a company that designs meals as medicine. And literally, like, the top 5 reasons for death in this country are food related because people eat too much.
Right.
So, yeah. Like you're saying,
it's another addictive behavior.
It's another addictive behavior. So it's like food is killing you guys. It's killing us. And doctors, you have an opportunity to make, a difference in people's lives. And the expensive stuff's going out of stock. There's cheaper stuff available that's just as good. And Dr. Kaplan and team are giving you a platform where you could make it all happen. So Jonathan, where can people find out about this? How could they sign up with you? Learn more.
Yeah, they can head on over to BuildMyHealth, BuildMy.health, where they can learn all about our weight management program. They can sign up for a demonstration or an online demo. And then once the provider signs up, we provide them all the resources they need for a turnkey weight management program, connect them to the compounding pharmacy, help them with the prescriptions and everything. And the thing is that if there are a lot of people out there that are thinking like, oh, well, this is a plastic surgeon, what does he know about weight management? Or what does he know about diabetes? Because that's the things we're trying to keep people from getting. That's what's so incredible about this, is that while I'm well read on this and I'm studying this and I'm always keeping up on the latest data that's coming out, the patients that we're treating and that a lot of providers out there can treat are not fragile diabetics. These are overweight patients that are not sick yet. And that's kind of the goal, is to keep them from getting sick by not letting them stay obese, not letting them get more obese, helping people with PCOS, things like that. So it really is an incredible opportunity that you're not going to be getting out of your lane treating people with high blood pressure and diabetes. That's not what this is about. This is about treating healthy, overweight people before they get sick. And so, yes, if you head on over to buildmy.health, you can learn more about the program, and it's very easy to sign up for a demo, and we'll go over it all with you and get you signed up in no time.
Amazing. Well, look, Jonathan, great opportunity. I'm glad you came onto the Outcomes Rocket to share it. Folks, take advantage of it. We'll leave the sign up link inside of the show notes for you to check it out. Any other closing thoughts there, Jonathan?
No, thank you so much for having me back on, Saul. It's a great opportunity. These medications, this is only the beginning of the pipeline. There's more medications coming out that are going to be even better, maybe even once per month injections rather than 4 times a month. I mean, it's an incredible, exciting field.
It really is. Well, thank you so much for sharing it with us, the opportunity for all the physicians listening. Take advantage of it. Don't just go learn. Like you got nothing,
Yeah.
like it's not going to hurt you to learn what you could do with this. So take advantage of it. And Jonathan, thanks for bringing us this fresh content to help our listeners.
Thank you. Appreciate it. Thanks again for having me.